Hello, my friends. Please forgive my absence. I have been out with a pretty nasty flu, bronchitis kind of thing. It's going around. Everybody in the area is talking about it. It's just, it's this thing, and it really puts you out for a long time. And the horrible cough, it's terrible. So it's hard to, just focusing on work at all. Like literally, just like right here, I'm sitting in front of my computer. This is the first time I've done this in 9 days or something. And the talking that it takes to record a video is a bit of a thing. Even right now, I'm kind of, I just gotta take it slow. But a whole lot of Nintendo news has been dropping. I got a really huge amount of stories here I want to cover. And let's start with the most important one, the thing I've been the most desiring to speak about, even though I know by now everyone's already talked about all this stuff. Who cares? Whatever. I'm talking about it too. I love President Furukawa. I love him. And I know like he's not necessarily always the person who makes the decisions of like, what to say. I guess you could just call him a mouthpiece or whatever. He's just the one who talks to the investors. Whatever the case though, I don't care. I like Furukawa or whoever because he's very strategic about giving us little bits of info, not necessarily the info that we want, but the ones that we kind of need. What do we want? We want everything. we want it all. We want to know about the Switch 2 and all that stuff. Of course, that's not realistic, but it also wouldn't be wise to give us nothing. Previously, they could have just stayed completely quiet, but they decided, okay, it is time to let everyone know that info about the next system is coming. They gave us a window, before the end of the fiscal year. See, that's good. Acknowledge just enough to take the heat off, the smallest amount of information to take off the most heat. And that is very smart. And in this case here, this actually is a pretty big piece of info. That's pretty big news, but it's such an important detail. It's so incredibly important that they recognized they didn't want to wait until they revealed the whole entire thing to let us know that the next system will be backwards compatible. Now, I just want to start by saying phwoo. Just by saying, all right, yes, that feels really good to know. I personally, for one, I may be the only one here, but I'm very happy to hear that the next system will be backwards compatible. And like it's been kind of funny because like I've heard people go back and forth. It kind of seems like on the one hand, mobile tech is always getting better, and some people will say there's no reason at all why it couldn't be backwards compatible. And yet I would still hear people come in with these arguments that seem. I guess that's the thing. You could say any argument if you sound like you know what you're talking about. It seems like a reasonable thing, and I don't know. Maybe it was reasonable. It is that it's. Backwards compatibility is not as easy as it sounds. Hardware architecture, it's kind of a thing. And if your hardware is different enough, then it's not a simple matter of being able to put the same game card in there and it just kind of works. You might have to like emulate the original system, and that itself takes a humongous amount of power, way more than the amount of power it would take to power the original system. And I don't know, whatever. Point is, I just kept hearing people go back and forth on it. Sometimes it was like, it's not going to be possible, or it's going to be really, really hard. And then other times it was going to be easy, whatever. But one thing that everyone could agree on is that it was needed. That I think that idea has always been just unanimously agreed upon, that backwards compatibility for Switch 2 was so important. So incredibly important, and it was scary though, because Nintendo, they've made mistakes. They've definitely made mistakes in the past, and I think that they are not prone to quite such big mistakes anymore. I think they've become a lot more, self-aware, or rather outwardly aware of the industry and what is needed. They're less like that kind of like weird insulated thing where sometimes they'll just make these wild decisions and everyone will be like, what are you doing? They shoot themselves in the foot. Like they're kind of past that. But like until we got the confirmation, there was still like this little worry in the back of my head that was like, yeah, but what if? What if they announced it and it just wasn't, and that was it? Definitely a worst case scenario. But yeah, it's just nice to not have to worry about that anymore. And yeah, we could all recognize it was so important because with the Switch being as just enormously successful as it is, momentum is everything. I mean, that's really it's the name of the game for Nintendo right now. It's momentum. When you have a system this overwhelmingly successful and popular, how do you carry that over? You do everything you can to carry as much of it over as you can, especially because, like, I don't know, they probably have to be aware that sometimes you get lightning in a bottle. I mean, they certainly had it with the Wii, and going into the Wii U, they realized, oh, people are not gonna necessarily stick around, no matter how popular something is. It does not guarantee success the next time. And of course, they're in a better situation now. The Switch is even more successful than the Wii, and all the stuff we've talked about a million times before. The Wii was so based on a gimmick, and it's so connected with casual audiences that did not return. That was the problem. Whereas the Switch, its growth has been much more natural, much more organic. So they are definitely in a better place, but they still have to realize, like, they're still gonna have to fight for it. They still have to stay hungry. They cannot assume anything. They have to carry that momentum as much as possible. And that's why backwards compatibility was such a big thing. Such a massive, massive thing. You want people to be able to pick up a Switch 2 on day one confidently and just keep rolling. We all have backlogs. Is there one person out there who doesn't have a backlog? Like even just Switch, like don't even consider like Steam sales and Humble Bundles and all that stuff and other systems. Let's just look at the Switch. Any one of you out there listening to this? You're just like, no, game comes out, I play it, I'm done, I wait for the next game. Is that anyone? I don't think it's anyone. Let me know in the comments if that's you, but I think for the most part, we all have loads of games that we need to play. And like, I gotta be able to just buy the new thing, boot up my account on it, maybe do a funny little transfer, maybe some little, like a fun little video of some Pikmin. There better be a little video of the Pikmin carrying over the data. There better be. And just keep on going. Just keep on not playing those games and pretending like I'm gonna play them. It's important. I mean, I see people all the time. Seeing people say things on the internet is really not actually a good indication of the broader market. Even I mean, all of us, YouTube and watching YouTube, we're really a very small percentage of the greater market. But I don't know, it's at least worth saying. I see people all the time saying that this really is a deciding factor for them. Backwards compatibility. They're like, I'm sure I'm gonna get a Switch 2 someday, but whether or not I get one, like on day one, it's the backwards compatibility. Otherwise, I'll just wait. I'll just wait until sometime into the next generation, maybe the mid generation if there's a Switch 2 Pro or something. Shouldn't even say the word Switch 2 Pro this early. Give people flashbacks. But yeah, it's been a really big thing for a lot of people, and so yeah, we have it. And obviously there's no other information, nothing on performance boosts. We don't know if is everything going to be able to benefit from the higher power, or is it going to be one of those things where it's only games that have, more realistically, it's going to be only games that have been given these performance patches, and then is that going to be a big thing next gen? We're all waiting. Oh, I hope my favorite game gets the performance patch, and it's a whole other thing we gotta pay attention to and hope for. I hope. I dearly, dearly hope at least like first party Nintendo games. You would hope that, all of them. Is that too much to ask? Maybe, but like, I don't know. How hard is it? I'm not saying that like, how hard can it be? How hard is it to make a performance patch so that a game runs better on the Switch too? I don't know, but really hoping there though. Hoping it's not something that we do have to beg for. But yeah, other than that, we really don't have any other information. Other than actually, he did say that NSO would be available on the Switch 2 as well, but that's not surprising at all. I mean, that was completely inevitable. I will, in fact, be surprised if NSO hits the Switch 2 and it doesn't have all the games that we already have on it. You know, they're not going to drip feed us again. I am almost certain it's just wholesale. It's going to be the same, essentially just the same thing, the same exact collection of games. I mean, you know, maybe they'll end up putting GameCube games on there or something, and those will be Switch 2 exclusive, but for the most part, everything we have on NSO right now, it's going to be on Switch 2, I'm almost certain. So there you go. Switch 2, or whatever it's going to be called, is going to be backwards compatible. Feels really good to know. And recording this video, I did have to take more coughing breaks than I wanted to, but it's gone okay. But you know, one video down, and I only have 8 more. Only 8 more that I want to do. We'll see how many I can get through.